Prime Minister Bennett held a series of 5 meetings with the heads of the Emirati government and economy, including Sheikh Khaldoun Mubarak, CEO of Mubadala Investment Company and one of the senior advisors of the President of the UAE, and Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, member of the Executive Council of Abu Dhabi, in order to continue this momentum of cooperation between the two countries with this free trade agreement which came into force yesterday, and which shows that bilateral commerce between Israel and the United Arab Emirates is not, or let's say hardly, affected by the current diplomatic turmoil between the two countries. Trade actually jumped by 109% to reach $2.5 billion in 2022 compared to $1.2 billion in the previous year, making the Emiratis the 16th largest trading partners of the Israelis, with also some good news for tourists, expats and motorists of both countries who from now on will just need to present their original driving license and they will be issued very simply a new driving license of the country, either Israel or the UAE.
And Bastien, the timing of this meeting is interesting, isn't it? Do you think the UAE leadership is trying to send a message to the current government here in Israel?
Well, if we look at 2023, in the last 3 months, there's been a breakdown of public UAE criticisms of Israel. The UAE strongly condemned the Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir's visit to the Temple Mount in January. It condemned the Israeli military raid in Jenin that left 10 Palestinians dead in February. It condemned Bezalel Smotrich's remarks on the existence of the Palestinian people. And 2 days ago, it issued a statement condemning the Israeli government's approval of new settlements in the West Bank. So, in theory, it's not the best time to host the Prime Minister Netanyahu, who's kind of responsible for the things you're condemning. But despite all of that, this visit definitely benefits Naftali Bennett himself, who's thinking about a return to politics, as well as the UAE, who must spare their relations with two very, let's say, cumbersome and powerful neighbors, namely Saudi Arabia and Iran, who have just signed a normalization agreement.
And we know that Prime Minister Netanyahu, of course, was the one who brokered the Abraham Accords. He wanted to visit the UAE. He wanted that to be his first foreign trip. That didn't happen. It was linked to Itamar Ben-Gvir's walk on the Temple Mount, as you mentioned. Do we have any idea if and when Netanyahu is scheduled to visit?
The project, or even the idea, is still on standby, and it's not likely to get any better, at least in the short term. The UAE remains firm on at least 2 foreign policy conditions: the two-state solution and the end of annexations in the West Bank. Benjamin Netanyahu should have made, as you said, his first official visit abroad in Abu Dhabi, a visit that was finally cancelled for logistical reasons. The Emiratis politely responded. So it looks like we will not see the Israeli Prime Minister here anytime soon, maybe at the very end of 2023, as was the case for Naftali Bennett in December 2021, 2 years ago.